These two down in the lower left position, we have the Red Terran from Carnage Esports, currently tied up 1-1. It is Jimmeh. And now his opponent up in the top right as the teal, or well, as the blue Protoss from Team Dignitas. It is DreAm.
DreAm playing that Oracle play that you predicted. Are we going to see him do that again? Because it wasn't really super effective, I'd say. Jimmeh really shut that down as if he knew it was coming. Yep. He had the Widow Mines in position. He baited the Oracle over the Widow Mine, and he just completely destroyed that. And when you kill the first Oracle, the second and third one are not anywhere near as dangerous. The power of the Oracle comes from the surprise and the catching someone off guard.
Either the surprise, or you get so many out they just vaporize everything. If you've got some gateway units,
they can end games. Yeah,
so that's the two ways we can see it used. But to be honest, that game, as you said, it was really, really close in the end. Game 2 only going in the end to Jimmeh because he just had such a great engagement. The EMPs were exactly where they needed to be. His arc was just so superior to that of DreAm's. And if you've got the better attack arc and you've got great, well, spellcasts, then you're going to win.
Yeah, he also had better upgrades.
Yeah, he did.
He had 2-2, where I believe DreAm only had 2-1 or 0-2.
It may have even been 0-2 or 1-2, one or the other. So, yep, this is looking pretty standard at the moment. Just see that it's a 1 racks out of Jimmeh, and clearly
no gas this time.
Yeah, no gas. And compare that up, of course, to the top right, where we do have the lovely Mr. DreAm. Currently getting out just the 1 gateway, 1 gas, second gas on its way now, and there's the cyber core. So, do you reckon he's going to go? Do you think he would go Oracles the third game after how much it was shut down last time?
Yeah, that's what I was contemplating myself just a second ago. Will he really do that again? He could go for the Stargate again. The Phoenix are super useful, like I said, for shutting down drops in the mid game, which is a part of the game where a lot of Protoss players struggle with right now. Those drops happening at 3 base at the same time, boosting in and out, coming back in and out and again. It's really difficult for Protoss to do it. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see DreAm kind of implore the same strategy, because so far it's an identical build order.
So far, indeed, yeah. So, as we've got, Warp Gate Tech is getting started. We do still have the 3 probes in each gas. That's something that's really worthwhile to note, because some Protoss players will just put 2 in there, and it does make a big difference to how much gas you can come in and what sort of build you can be going for. But it's all just waiting to see what DreAm's going to chuck down. He's got nearly 200 gas banked up, so that leaves him a lot of time. But there we go, 1 Stargate at the back. Could be Phoenix, could be Oracle. Both really viable, so we'll wait to see what he's going to do. And meanwhile for Jimmeh, he's just happily grabbing on the additional 2 barracks, taking up to 3 barracks, 2 command centers, and the gas also in production.
Yeah, funnily enough, we don't see a Reaper coming out by Jimmeh just yet, which is really the standard thing to do in pretty much any matchup right now for Terran. Just get that 1 or 2 Reapers out on the field, gives you a lot of map control, and gives you the opportunity to scout and come in for another scout and come in for another scout. Granted, on this map it's a little bit more difficult to do because you cannot jump in on the left side.
Yeah, so you're exactly right, Lolly, and that is precisely what we should be seeing coming down. We've got the Stargate just completing now for DreAm, and it's going to be an Oracle. Again.
Once again. Is Jimmeh going to be able to defend the same way he did in last game? No. He does not have a factory on the way yet. He didn't go for a gas expand, but he went for a 1 racks expand into 2 barracks and another gas. And he's putting most of that gas to use for what I think is going to be a relatively quick stim.
Yeah, and that nice little timing push can be very, very strong with that stim timing, especially with the good Marine Mortar Force. If you get some medevacs in there as well, it's even stronger. So we'll wait to see what's going to come down. Looks like he's getting a quick engineering base, so probably going to be starting off, hopefully, with something along the lines of a +1 stim timing push, which is really, really potent, and indeed there goes down stim. Meanwhile, for DreAm, he's just starting to stack up the Oracles. The first one already on its way over, second one, 3/4 done. And with no Widow Mines, this is going to be a tougher hold.
This is going to be definitely a tougher hold. He has less Marines, but he has the missile turrets coming up. Will the missile turrets be done in time, though? He is building one at the front of his base, maybe expecting DTs, but no, it's going to be an Oracle, and there's nothing in the main base to defend. And just a single Marine, that's going to be dying off really quickly. The SCV is already starting to take fire, and a lot of mining time now being lost.
Yeah, this is doing some nice damage already. 2 workers have been killed. A couple of Marines on their way back, but the Oracle can just go straight down into the natural, really exploiting this cliff area effectively. The second Oracle joining in as well now, and a third is about to complete. So DreAm going for this mass Oracle style yet again, catching Jimmeh off guard, which isn't surprising because ultimately Jimmeh shut it down really hard game 2. You wouldn't expect it in a third game after it not really working.
No, you're right, and we're even seeing a 4th Oracle come out by DreAm. Wow, he's really going to be incorporating them into his army, going to be using Gonna be using their ability to kill Marines really quickly in battle, I guess. He's gonna need them to defend, because that's a lot of Marines moving out by Jimmeh. They do not have Stim yet, but by the time they get across the map, they will have Stim finished up. That's gonna be a bit of a dangerous push, of course.
Well, there's a photon overcharge from Mothership Core, but there's only 2 gates worth of production of gateway units, so really there's just 1 sentry, 1 stalker sitting there currently.
Oh, the Stim might be forced to cancel here in the main base. 3 Oracles gonna be focusing that down. That is huge. No Stim, no Tech Lab. Stim and combat shields, they're miles away.
Yeah, it's a really long research time, and that was just brilliant play by DreAm coming in there, taking that out. And suddenly, Jimmeh, his push has been shut down. It was all around that timing, and all of his play was revolving around that Stim timing to do some damage. And now it hasn't. Well, he's behind by 2 workers. He's behind in tech.
Immensely
behind in tech. He's really just got, well, I think he's only got Marines out. That is how far he's teched. He's a tier 1.
Yeah, and that factory, look at that. The factory has been sitting still ever since the Oracle harassed. The factory is not getting finished, so medevacs are miles away. Stim is just now starting. That's going to take another full...
Oh, the Oracles, they are brave going into that fight and are getting taken out, but so many of the Marines are starting to die, and DreAm deciding, nope, I'm going to run out. They're losing 2 Oracles, though, just in a head-up fight against that many Marines. Yeah, not something that you really want to be happening.
No, if he would have lost that 3rd one, it would have been catastrophical, and it would have been like, oh, that was really bad. But now he managed to get a little bit out of that situation, but definitely not a favorable trade. Those Marines were in a perfect position to defend against that, and even without Stim, enough Marines still very easily beat Oracles.
Yep. The other thing I want to point out on DreAm's side is he is getting out the +1 armor upgrade for ground units. He's also getting out charge, and only just now is he adding on additional gateways. He's been on 2 gates for an eternity, and the reason that doesn't really matter is because he's just been so harassment heavy, keeping Jimmeh back, and still just going at this natural with the Oracles.
Yeah, he's going to be killing another good amount of SCVs. Already 8 workers killed by the Dignitas player in this game. And Jimmeh, he's really scrambling to defend because his Marines still do not have Stim. It takes ages for them to defend the main, then go back into the natural, and those Oracles just keep on bouncing them around. And Jimmeh, he's not feeling good right now. He's taken a lot of damage, but finally things are starting to come together for him a little bit. He has the star portal away, finally has Stim about to finish.
You're precisely right, Lurlian, and this is where really Jimmeh does have some opportunities available to him. He can start moving across the map, he's got a nice army, and DreAm, he really doesn't have much there. He has 5 Zealots, 1 Stalker, and 2 Sentries, plus the Oracles and Mothership Core, so that's not much to defend with, especially against the big Marine Marauder shove. But it's still worth pointing out that the first starport only really just finished, the first medevac's only just coming out now at the 11-minute 30 mark.
Yeah, it's really late. Everything's late, really, for Jimmeh. Is he going to be able to make anything work with the medevacs? They're going to be hitting a lot later than they normally would, while the Oracles are coming by on the bottom right side of the map again. They're going to be flying into the main base. There are a few Marines here. They finally have Stim, but that is not enough Marines to deal with this many Oracles. More Marines are going to have to be pulled back from the main base. That Phoenix might go down. No. Beautiful micro there by DreAm. Doesn't lose anything apart from a little bit of energy.
Yeah, that was really, really solid micro by DreAm there. And just to summarize, anyone just tuning in now, or anyone thinking, how do we get to this spot? Why is Jimmeh so far behind? Ultimately, he moved out for a big Marine push with a Stim timing. And while he was out of his base, DreAm flew in with, I think it was 3, maybe 4 Oracles, knocked out the Tech Lab before Stim finished. And that's really what set Jimmeh so far behind. But economically, Jimmeh's still ahead. He's been pumping out SCVs continuously. And as such, this just means the DreAm isn't quite as ahead as he'd like to be, especially as really now Jimmeh's caught up in tech.
Might have to criticize the Dignitas player a little bit for that. His low probe count, there's no excuse. This might not be the best engagement in the world, but he has so many Zealots, and they have the good upgrades. They have +1 already finished up, but +1 also finished up for Jimmeh, so the upgrades are equal. And pushing into 3 bunkers, this is not a good move at all, I feel, by DreAm. He is going to be losing big time.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of units, but those Oracles are getting focused down. They've been so integral to his play. The Mothership Core dies as well, and DreAm being forced back. He did take out 2 of those bunkers, but as you said, that was a really tough engagement. I'm surprised DreAm went for that, and he lost considerably more there. Considering he'd been dominating in the resources lost and just being really cost effective, that wasn't so great for him, and now he's opened himself up to potentially to a counterattack from Jimmeh, who is at 130 supply to DreAm's 90.
Yeah, how do we get how did we get to this situation? DreAm played such a perfect early and mid game as far as harassment goes, but he just doesn't have the economy to back it up. That's why he lost that attack so badly. He's been down in workers for a long time, and now all of a sudden he's 40 to 50 supply behind, and he's going to have to defend against the relentless medevac aggression that Jimmeh has in mind.
Now the one thing that is going in DreAm's favour is he has his third up and running, but then Jimmy's just secured his own as well, and Jimmeh is still a good 11 workers ahead, plus mules, which count for, roughly speaking, about 4 or 5 SCVs each. So that is a good amount of income coming in for our red Terran player. Compare that up to DreAm, who after that push, his army is nowhere near the size of Jimmy's, and is just having to turtle up really hard.
Oh, here comes that triple, actually a double drop, not a triple drop, but the double drop is doing enough damage for our Terran player already, killing 16 workers, grabbing himself the lead in the worker kill tab oh so easily. Going to be taking out a few pylons, lifting up, and going to be boosting out of there. So much damage being done. High Templar being taken out everywhere, probes going down. Oh, it's not looking good for Dignitas.
No, DreAm at the moment, it seems to be in a bit of problems. He's now down to just 44 probes compared to 73 SCVs, and he's having to defend drops from every angle, and this was somewhat his downfall in Game 2, was he just couldn't deal with all these drops coming down everywhere at once. The Oracle Heavy Plague doesn't deal well with that, and it's why he got those Phoenix out. But the Phoenix, with only 2 of them, can't kill the medevacs in time, and as such, I think this is a really, really tough spot, especially with that many units marching up towards DreAm's third.
Yeah, now a 50 supply lead. Jimmeh looking to close out that game. Do we have Storm ready? No, we do not. That High Templar is not going to be able to turn the tides of this small skirmish at the third base, and this army is going to get demolished. DreAm down to about 3 Archons, 2 Archons and 3 Zealots.
And I hate to say it, I think he's going to have to GG.
Yeah, he's going to be crumbling under the pressure. His naturals being dropped. It's only 2 Marines, but they shut down mining completely. DreAm doesn't have any army supply left and will be forced to tap out of this game momentarily. And Jimmeh going to be taking the series 2-1.
And that is actually really good for Jimmeh, actually. And there's the GG.